Hi, good morning, and hope you had a good weekend. You must be working hard as well. So for this week, and I'm going to record this lecture on Zoom rather than talking to you on live. I think this is, from my experience so far, is no difference, honestly. And if I just record this, then you can watch it on your own time. Okay, so. I hope you have done your homework, and I'm looking at your homework right now. Basically, you've been asked to do some work on counter arguments and reputations based on second essay, Model B, all right? And you, again, hope you could understand the answer key. If you don't, then let me know your problems and contact me. Now, so if you have done your lesson plan, you read your lesson plan, and you know that for this week we're going to look at how to prepare an essay outline. All right, now, so first of all, let me look at the lesson plan together with you so that you could understand it better when you do it yourself. So week 9. Okay, now, so this is the lesson plan for this week. So basically, you have learned how to write the thesis statement, topic sentences, and also counter arguments and refutations. So if you've done these important elements, learn these important elements in the essay, then the next logical step is for you to prepare an essay outline. And of course, you have sent me some references before. I looked at them and commented on your style of presentation. So make sure you do them on by using the APA style. If you've done wrong, I think I have pointed out to you already and give you some websites to look at. Now, they are very, the work that you've done earlier, pretty preliminary, especially the research data you've done. They may or may not be relevant to your essay, all right, which is logical. So let me tell you how you're going to prepare for this outline this week. Okay, now the materials that you are going to use is nothing new. All the things that you have seen so far, lesson plans in week 5, 7, and 8, including this one, of course. The 2 sample essays, you have seen and done homework, all right, A and B. Now, if you go back to the typical structure of an argumentative essay you've seen before, this is the typical structure, so I'm not going to repeat, you've seen it before, with introduction, topic sentences, and counter argument and rebuttal. Now, so the question is, you might want to ask, why do I have to prepare an essay outline? I've been, dropping just short notes, and when I normally start writing an essay, I just write it. I don't really have to refer to any outline. Now, let me tell you, for this particular essay, it's very, very important if you can write an outline. Now, why? Mainly because of the following reasons. Now, number 1, if you write up an outline, you can see very clearly your topic sentences or your arguments. Are they logical? Are they okay? All right, now sometimes you might think it's okay, but then when you write it up, it's not quite okay. And number 2 reason is very important. Now, I trust you've been reading and researching a lot of data. Now, these data could be not enough, all right? Now, so if you write up the outline, then you found you have good arguments, but you don't have any research data, then these outline might kind of like remind you to look for something more, okay? And then, of course, we just learn how to write a counter argument and rebuttal. And yet again, that will be useful if you can write it up in a single sentence, not long, all right? And see whether you can do that. So many times students said, oh, I got very good arguments, but then I can't think about a counter argument. It's very difficult. Then that might be a problem. So if you write out your outline, you're able to do that, all right? And then you might do a good essay. So here, that's why I'm saying that if you are writing the essay, you may not be able to provide all the research data. I'm not expecting you to give me research data for every single paragraph, but at least you have to prepare some, such as some statistics or expert views or some theories, all right, to make your arguments more convincing and objective. So the bonus is if you can prepare a very good outline, all right, then it will definitely make sure your essay, all right, the arguments of the essay are logical and sound, and the supporting data you can see that are really relevant to your arguments, and also your counter argument and rebuttal are also very objective as well. Now, earlier we've seen a typical kind of structure, all right, this structure you've seen before. But then when you prepare for your essay, actually you can have this outline models, A, B, and C, all right? So A, I would say, is very traditional. That means you start with the introduction with a thesis statement and then pro-argument. Pro-argument, that means your own argument. That means your topic sentence, basically. So you might have 3 paragraphs, 1, 2, 3, 3 major topic sentences related to your arguments, and then 1 counter argument. So the arrangement is very traditional, all right? B is slightly different. Some people might start with the counter argument first and then do it another way around. That's also possible. But conceptually, I think it's easier for the reader to follow if you do A. But it's up to you if you can present it in B. Number C is interesting, that you can actually have only 1 major argument, but you put in 3 different kinds of counter arguments, all right? So that means you have better refutations, or you can prepare better defenses for yourself when people attack you. So A, B, and C. Of course, if you ask me, students tend to use A, but there is no sort of compulsory policy which one you use. Okay. Now, but one thing you have to be careful is whatever model you choose. All right. Make sure you understand the number of words are not that long, only 900 to 1,100. So try to write within the limits of these words. So because I'm marking WC1, some students either write more or write less, then they get marks deducted 5%. It's not worth it. All right. So please stick to the word limit. And another important thing is each paragraph you write, all right? So if you look at the model, let's say if you choose model A, then you have, of course, these statements. That means this is the introduction, all right? And then you have argument, pro-argument, 1, 2, 3. But actually, if you look at the whole essay together, you will perhaps think, whoa, I cannot write within maximum 1,100 words with 3 arguments. What about if I just choose to do 2, all right? 2 pro-arguments. Now, I said it's totally okay. You don't have to force yourself to do 3 major arguments. 2 will be enough, as long as each body paragraph is written around the same number of words. Now, what does that mean? That means you should look at the balance of your paragraphing skills. Don't write 1 paragraph with 300 words and then another paragraph only 100. All right, so that is not balanced. So you need to write balance. You know, you should keep the balance of the number of words for each paragraph. So this is why what I'm saying is, if you just found that, you know, it's more balanced if you just write 2 arguments and 1 counter argument and refutation, that's okay. Don't worry. You don't have to follow the model. All right. Now, when you prepare that, all right, you outline, then make sure you know which model you are going to use, all right, that help you with the organization, and the number of arguments and counter arguments that you have. All right, now, so let's look at one of the samples produced by my student from last term. And she chose to use model A, all right? Now, so her topic is called "Is Social Media Perpetuating Hatred Among the Users?" So, well, as you know, if you use Facebook, you can see that once people start a topic, they start to get very heated, all right, some sort of debate, and they call each other's name using swear words and then getting angry and angrier, all right, so making the whole thing a little bit unnecessarily negative, all right. So the word hatred here, I'm sure you come across this before. So she's arguing whether social media actually supports the users, all right, or encourage the users to have all the anger out and have all the hatred among themselves. Now her stance is agree, okay, quite clear. She knows what she's doing, and she's going to follow model A. If you look at her thesis statement, and that is the last sentence in the introduction, she said, with the anonymity, that means people without using their names or real names. With the anonymity feature of social media, together with the violence adopted by some extremist groups, it is very likely that social media helps to perpetuate hatred among the users. So basically, you can see that she said, yes, social media definitely encouraged all the hatred among users. Reasons, arguments. So number one is because of the anonymity feature. That is, people don't use their real name. So they could say whatever they want. They don't have to take responsibility. And another one is some of the extreme sort of political groups, they might make use of it to encourage violence. All right. Now, so her first topic sentence about the feature, the anonymity feature, and she explained what it means. She said the anonymity feature of social media allows people to express any ideas freely with fake names and information without bearing the responsibility of spreading hate speech. All right, now, so at the moment, as you know, with the virus situation, America and China are kind of in wars of words, all right? They just accuse each other, you know, very much. And then it started all the discussions on social media. But some people choose to use the name to express their views, some don't. So this is why the writer thought without the use of the real name, people can say whatever they want. They don't have to take responsibility. So this echoes the thesis statement of the argument, anonymity feature of social media. Another one, all right, the argument about violence adopted by some extremist groups. She elaborated and saying that a number of websites that promote the ideas of extremist groups might probably help to spread hatred against some racial or religious groups. Okay, now, so she gave an example, and here, of course, very important to have example now. What do you mean by that? And she gave two examples, and taking from sources by these two publications, Perry and Lawson, and Bowman and Grieve. Okay, now, first one is said by 2000, it was estimated that more than 5,000 websites advocated hatred, and the number has been increasing dramatically over the years. So she got some figures showing that there are more and more of these kind of extremist group websites. And then secondly, she used an example of website, stormfront.org. Actually, I checked it myself, so you can do a search. You can find this website to have a look yourself. And this group, she said, is a website created by a group of white nationalists. That means white people, all right? They really are for their own country and do not like other races. So America is a typical example. You can see there are a lot of white people. They do not particularly like immigrants, all right? Or other racial groups. So they are called white nationalists. And it's a kind of a negative word. So it says a website created by a group of white nationalists who are alleged to spread hateful speech. All right, now I like the word she used, alleged. That means it's not proof, just people said that. All right, so are alleged to spread hateful speech, has its audience rapidly expanding. By 2009, the site had over 159,000 members, and by 2015, the number of registered users was approximately 300,000. So around, you know, double, all right, the figures. So yet again, and she got these figures. Now, these two important data definitely, if you write it down on your outline, then it will help you when you write up the essay. You don't have to go through the piles of notes, and then, you know, not everyone is very organized. You might have seen something, but you couldn't find it. All right. So if you noted it down on the outline, when you write up the essay, what I'm trying to say is basically you don't have to look at your materials anymore. You just can write according to the information here. And counter argument, and she said, okay, some people say that, you know, some websites like Facebook or Twitter, they might have used some, or might have, or must have used some content moderators to check whether people publish this hate speech. And if they do, they get deleted. So this is the usual sort of challenge of the ideas that Facebook may not perpetuate hatred, because all the hateful speech could be checked by the social media company. So she says some social media websites have already established some rules to deal with the problem, such as hiring content moderators to restrict any hateful speech to be posted on their websites. All right, sounds good. All right. Now, but you're still not happy with this counter argument. You're trying to attack this idea. So the student brought in 2 ideas to attack it. Number one, there are many challenges, as algorithms are designed to pick up certain red flag words. That is, you know, I think I'm not familiar with IT, but the IT people would tell you that there are certain sort of instruments or tools in the social media website. They can pick up some particular words. If you type in swear word, for example, they will immediately come up with a red flag, so that the moderators can check and ban it. And extreme groups adopted coded language to spread the same ideas. So they may not use direct language. People understand, you know, normally if you write in a clear sentence, they might just use some coded language, all right, symbols to signal what they want to say. Or content moderators need to understand mirror the languages and cultures. So that is, they have to understand a particular culture and the language. Some say something in a language which may not mean the same in another language. So they may make use of the loopholes of cultural differences. And the number of posts per day is overwhelming. So many people post their comments on Facebook. How could they check? So you could argue, defend that. Or another thing, okay, even if the moderators can check all this, despite all the problems, what about if a user account, if you ban me, I create another one, I use another name, so that you won't be able to check. So this is exactly what the student tried to defend herself. If a user account is blocked or suspended, another can be created. So if a website is shut down, its owner can look for an alternative web hosting service with less stringent terms and conditions in another country. So Facebook is a typical example. You can change name and you can start the new account all over again, all right? Okay, now, so this is a basic sort of framework of an outline. And of course, I know you might be still reading some of your source materials. It's hard for you to pin down exactly what data research materials you have. Plus, you've just learned counter-argument and refutation. You might find it difficult to do that, all right? Now, so what I would like you to do is in the homework this week, very simple, okay? What I'd like you to do is submit the essay topic, which you have chosen already, the stance you know already, outline model, look at the ABC model, which one you use, and start writing a thesis statement yourself. So remember, the statement should include 2 things. Number 1 is your stance, whether you agree or disagree. You don't have to use the word agree and disagree, but the statement itself can implicitly signal what you agree or disagree. Look at the past examples, all right, in the homework. And secondly, give a preview of your major arguments. So what are your 2 or 3 major arguments? And then these arguments should be matching the topic sentences you have. If you have 2, then you write 2 topic sentences. If you have 3, of course, you have to write 3. And the counter argument. I don't need you to submit the data at the moment, all right, research data, because you might be still reading. And in fact, I gave you a note here, very important. Okay, so let's refer back to the note. What did I say when you prepare for this? Okay, now, number one, you are expected to include at least 3 source materials in 2 disciplines. I think you know already. So make sure on your final reference list, all right, you have 3, not just 2, okay? So, so far, I think from your homework in the previous week, you have been sending me 3 already. Now, when you have these 3, one thing very important I want to remind you is the reference list should match with the in-text citation. Now, what does it mean by in-text citation? If you refer to the model essay A, paragraph 2, you remember some of you gave me the wrong answer of this sentence, talking about unfair pay, what is the argument, I think. Anyway, one of the arguments of the drugs can and change our body and things like that. Now, so research data says the researchers also found that a combination of gene manipulation and exercise led to a 35% increase to the strength of Brett's leg muscles. Now, so the star here, put an asterisk, the star here is at Lamb 2004. Now, this is what we call the in-text citations, in-text citations. That means the citations, the source materials inside your essay. Now this one, remember, should appear once again in your reference list. Okay, now if you refer to the reference list, you can see Lamb, GM, all right, the APA style. So what I'm trying to say is, Lamb 204 is an in-text citation inside your essay. This shows the source of article in your essay. So, of course, Lamb is the family name of the writer, and 2004 is the year of publication. Now, there are different formats of in-text citations, many different more. So please refer to this website in the lesson plan and you can see more. I cannot explain so many. And actually, next lesson, I will say a little bit more, but it's good for you to take a quick look yourself. All right. Now, so what I'm trying to say is, if you have the in-text citation, your reference list should include the one exactly the same in your in-text citation. All right. Now, the question is, like I said, you've been reading a lot and you are asked to come up with arguments. Now, it's quite normal sometimes that you would like to make some changes while you're preparing for your essay or preparing for this outline, especially the references you have done. Like a previous week, you give it, you know, a few weeks ago, you gave me the references, the three references, but you might not use them eventually. Not all of them. Maybe you want to make a change. Now, why do you want to make a change? Number one, you prepare some references, but you found that they're not very relevant or convincing, and suddenly you come across something better. So you might want to drop the reference you have submitted to me earlier. Number two, you come across some better references and like to use them instead of the one that you prepare. So that's what I said. Number C is also possible. You find it very difficult to write up one of the major arguments you plan. It's okay, all right, when you write out the idea, but when you present it in an essay, in a paragraph, you eventually find it difficult. So you want to change your major argument. If you change a major argument, you might like to change the reference as well. And when you write up the essay, you find it difficult to argue for your stance. Now, to start with, you might think, oh, I like to argue for. But later on, when you look at the materials, you don't have enough research data to support you to present your ideas. Then you would like to change your original stance and make a reverse, and you want to agree at first, but now you want to change to disagree, or vice versa. Or now you've started with disagree, but you want to change it to agree. So if you come across these situations, when you write up the essay, then make sure you only include the references which match with your in-text citations at the end, all right? And update your reference list. So in other words, the references you sent me a few weeks ago as homework may not be the same as you are going to use when you write up the essay. So the result is when you write up the essay, the references you prepare, right, at the end of the essay, like this, could be changed. And don't ask me, it's okay, totally okay. All right, so don't worry about the changes of your references. As long as your in-text citations, like I said, the in-text citations are the same with the references. Okay, so read it out again. So I made it quite clear for you to look at it again already. Is that okay? All right, now, so very simple this week. Just prepare this outline. Now, you know that I don't ask you to submit your supporting data like in the example yet, because I know you might be reading. It's no point if you just send it to me, but later on you change. But it doesn't stop you from doing your own, all right? You're preparing something yourself. But what I want to see is just this very simple framework of your outline. Just one sentence of your topic sentence and thesis statement that you need to write, and counter argument and refutation. No research data yet, but like I said, you can prepare. You can write it up in your own computer or your own file. But when you send it to me, I just want to have a quick look to make sure they're okay. All right, okay, so hope this helps, because the essay outline is very, very important. If you get it right, then your essay definitely will be right. If your essay outline is bad, then, well, it's very likely your essay will be bad. Okay, I'll stop it here. Let me know if you have any questions. Bye-bye.